it time?
Nope. So
It's now 7 p.m. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call, please.
Sure. Mr. Wakilski,
Here.
Mr. Meehan,
here.
Stephen Azia,
Here.
Mr. Hetrick,
Here.
Mr. Murray,
Here.
Mr. Bailey,
Here.
Ms. Minson is not here. Mr. Weissman,
Here.
Mr. Lynch,
Here.
Sam Rao is absent, Mr. Pasternak is absent, Mr. Russell Meisel.
How you doing,
Hi.
everybody?
Mr. Henry,
Here.
Ms. Bondage is here.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask you a ton of questions.
Notice of this meeting had provided to resolution adopted by the mayor and council on December 16th, 2024, at its regular meeting of the mayor and town council at the Boonton Town Hall, 100 Washington Street, Boonton, New Jersey, and by electronic mailing to the citizens of Morris County and the Dale Record newspapers, through posting on the town website and by filing a copy of the same with the town clerk. Members of the public were also permitted to submit written comments prior to the meeting via mail or email, which will be read during the public comment period. All public comments, whether during the public portion of the meeting or submitted beforehand, shall be limited to no greater than 3 minutes in duration. We'll move on to various committee and administrative reports, starting with our administrator, Neil Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. In addition to facilitating and attending meetings of the individual subcommittees and working on the various components of this evening's agenda, I've worked on the following since the last meeting of the Mayor Council of December 16th. Work continues on replacing the town engineer who has decided to move away from the municipal business model. Mr. Ezzy and I met with representatives of the county health department to discuss new regulations regarding our recycling facility. More on that will follow at a later date. Work continues with the town CFO in closing out 2024 fiscal year while putting together our 2025 budget. I did meet with our water utility engineer on the upgrades for our wellfield transmission plant. That's projected to go out to bid in the beginning of February. I also worked in conjunction with the town engineers to advertise bids for the paving of the town hall parking lot and the Boonton Avenue parking lot, as well as a drainage issue leading into the property owned by the Boonton Housing Authority on Plain Street. And work continues on managing a number of personnel matters and litigation. And Mayor, that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Any comments or questions for Mr. Henry? Seeing none, we'll move on to finance and personnel. Councilmember Weissman.
Thank you, Mayor. So Mr. Henry, I referenced a couple of things that we've been engaged with, including the engineer transition and that work. Also want to note on the agenda, we have a couple of resolutions, so including one dealing with a local recreation grant, which the committee vetted and approved as well on a 4-0 committee vote to have on the agenda tonight. And talked about a number of different issues that will be coming up in the weeks ahead. And then, beginning to, and I sketched out in the December meeting, and I'll do again in 2 weeks, sort of what the budget timeline is going to look like. So everyone's in the loop on that, as I shared a couple weeks ago, or I guess in December at this point. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Weissman? Seeing none, we'll move on to police. Councilmember Meehan.
Thank you, Mayor. We met last Tuesday. We went over the org chart for the police department. We have a couple spots that we're still working to fill, so we'll be going over that. We also spoke about, about ordinances for pets in the parks, just making sure we have some clarity as to dogs, if dogs are allowed, if they're on a leash, or if they're service dogs. So they're going to get back to me exactly what the ordinance is, and the byproduct of that is actually getting good signage in the park, so we know exactly what's allowed and what's not allowed. And also continuing to investigate the positioning of stop signs in town, whether the streets are T intersections or full-blown intersections where there may be some additional signage needed. Officer Constantino, who's our traffic expert, is actually going to be giving us some data on that. So we're still keeping an eye on that and getting things done. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Meehan? Seeing none, we'll move on to Councilmember Meehan, Recreation.
The hits keep coming. We, again, we met last week. We, a number of programs that are going to be coming out. One of the first ones coming out in early March is going to be some pickleball, open pickleball over at John Hill. So keep an eye out for some details on that. As I mentioned in January in the reorg meeting, the holiday events that we had were a great success, including not only the tree lighting, but also the line dancing that we did in the late fall. So good that we're actually doing some more line dancing. So there's going to be opportunities to do that again. So again, look at the website, see all the events that are going on. And if you have any ideas, let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Meehan? Seeing none, we'll move on to Councilmember Di Venezia, Board of Education.
Okay, so I did attend the Board of Education meeting virtually. They was their annual reorganization meeting. So there was a great deal of reappointments and appointments of the board president and vice pres. President Lefebvre gave a rundown of some of the accomplishments of the last year and the goals for the coming year. And I look forward to seeing those goals come to fruition as we work together. That's it.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Di Venezia?
Oh, one more
Oh.
thing. Sorry.
She's got one.
I want to shout out to the girls wrestlers who are being very successful in tournament play.
I understand the boys are also, boy wrestling, our conference championship today at 6 p.m. So I'm not sure how it made.
Best of luck.
We're doing quite well. with the coach doing it.
Having been a wrestling mom for a long time. Hard to watch, but great to see.
Moving on. Councilmember Hetrick, Green Team.
Hey, so we have our first of what is going to be a monthly series of seminars coming up. Our first one is this Thursday at 6 p.m. in the Makers Room, Makers Space, in the basement of the Booten Homes Library. It's gonna be all about trees. We're gonna touch on brief, like plain language overview of our tree ordinance, about tree care, when it's time to cut it down, when it can be saved, what trees are native, what is invasive, what's just not native, but is probably okay. So if you're interested, please come out. We're going to do one of these every month, all different topics about different types of conservation efforts, different recycling things, different environmental stuff. We want to get out to the public. We want to educate everyone. We want to learn ourselves. I'm not going to be giving these. I'm not the most knowledgeable person in any room. So we're going to get people who know what they're talking about to come and give these. So please come learn with me, and hope to see you guys there this Thursday at 6 p.m.
Any comments or questions for Councilmember Hetrick?
Nope.
Okay, we're gonna go an audible here. Councilmember Balin is going to discuss the Historic Preservation Commission.
Thank you. Just, we had our first meeting of the year. We actually postponed election of officers for the year till our next meeting, which will be just in a couple weeks, beginning of February. And we did have one application, which the applicant was not present. We kicked it back to Mr. Laverty for further information.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Balin? Seeing none, we'll move on to consent agenda. Resolutions 25-49 through 25-60. Take a motion to open these up for discussions.
Second, Murray.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have comments or questions on anything on the consent agenda?
I could just add that the road improvements were also discussed, and as well as the Rosser Street sewage change order were discussed in the DPW committee, and we're all approved to be on this agenda.
Thank you. I would like to point out that we have a resolution to appoint Daniel Petroni to the fire department, and he's gracious with his presence. So thank you for your service or future service.
Continued service.
Thank you, Brian, for all the decade, for the 25 years of service and for all these done for this town.
Yeah, I had the good fortune of attending his walkout ceremony. It was quite moving. Seeing no others, get a motion to close this.
Second, Di Venezia.
Get a motion to move this forward.
So moved, Balin.
Second.
There you go. Now we've all done it.
We get a roll call, please.
Bailey?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Hetrick?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Whiteman?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch?
Yes. We have resolution 25-61, a resolution of the town of Boonton, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, challenge the town's affordable housing present and prospective need obligation for the period of July 1, 2025 to July 1, 2035, in accordance with PL 2024 C2 and reserving all rights. Can I get a motion to open this up for discussion?
So moved, Weissman.
Second, Balin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have any comments or questions on this?
I just would like to comment that it looks as if the work that was done by the planner and the attorneys was pretty thorough as far as assessing what the state thought was open space in this town and buildable versus what actually is open space and buildable. And I think that the numbers that have been proposed are still fair and reasonable.
Thank you. There's the primary reason that we're not agreeing with what has been assigned to us is the state has determined that there's 40 buildable acres on the fireman's home property. And being that's under the control of the state, that's not developable. So that's the reason for our disagreement and move for a adjustment in the number. No other comments? I'd like to close this and call for motion to move this forward.
So moved, Weissman.
Second, Wojciechowski?
Can we get a roll call, please, Liz?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Hetrick?
Yes.
Mr. Newman?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Whiteman?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch?
Yes. Resolution 25-62, a shared service agreement between the town of Boonton and the Boonton Board of Education for a special law enforcement officer, class 3, SLEO officer. Can I get a motion to open this up for discussion?
Second, Stevenezia.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any comments or questions on this particular resolution?
Just want to say it's unfortunate they have to do it, but I think it's a good idea that they're finally doing it. I know they've been talking about it for a long time.
I agree.
No,
Any
just-
comments? Okay.
I'm just glad to see that after multiple rounds of discussions, that the town and the school board have come to an agreement that's mutually beneficial to both.
I got a question. Is this a contract that we have to renew or do something yearly, annually, or does it restart in September of every year?
I believe it's a multi-year contract.
Multi-year contract.
And in the contract, I think it specifies the rate for the next several years.
I think there's opt-out moments part of that. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I have a quick question. Is there like a safety or a violence issue that like we need an officer in the school? Like, I just worry about kids getting records for things that could have been resolved without.
I think it's more as a reaction to some of the terrible shootings and stuff that had taken place nationwide. I belief is that there's police presence, perhaps that's less likely to happen.
Okay.
But this was motivated by the schools, and we're doing what we can to accommodate them.
Okay.
We'll close the council discussion and call for a motion to move this forward.
So moved, Wojciechowski?
Second, Mia.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Bailey?
Yes.
Stevenezia?
Yes.
Mr. Hetrick?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Weissman?
Yes.
Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch?
Yes. Okay, we have a small typo here. Ordinance, it says 124 in the agenda, but it's actually 1-25. Introduction title only. An ordinance granting municipal consent for the operation of cable television system within the town of Boonton, New Jersey to CSC TKR LLC, doing business as Cablevision of Morris. Can I get a motion to introduce this?
So, second, Stevenezia.
Get a roll call, please.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Stevenezia?
Yes.
Mr. Hetrick?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Weissman?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch?
Yes. Now, the section where I normally jump right over, not intentionally, but I've learned. Open this up for town council members or administrator, town attorney comments. Any topic you care to raise, you're welcome to do so.
I just wanted to say, in light of the most recent snow event that we had, that people need to be aware that our town public lots are available, but private parking lots are not available for overnight snow parking. And if you are parked there, you are at risk of having your vehicle towed. And so either get permission from that property owner or don't park there.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, at this time, I'll open the meeting to the public. Any topic you care to discuss, you're welcome to come forward, introduce yourself. You got 3 minutes. Please step forward, and introduce yourself. Are we ready to go here by any chance? Jake, you're the youngest. Can you be our audio guy?
I do. It's on.
He's the closest.
It's on. It'll be on.
He's also closest to the mic.
Pam Bodka, 410 Lincoln Street, just 2 questions. Thank you for doing the law enforcement officer for the schools. Who's paying for this? School.
School board.
School board, okay. Basically, we are, okay. And the second question, I know it's Cablevision, which is Optimum, which is Altace. There's so many outages with the fiber optic. I mean, lately, we lose it almost every night. We have security cameras and they don't work. So I'm hoping that with the town being in a contract with them, things might improve. So I'm hoping things will go good for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah,
So that's 300 Reservoir Drive. I was curious about the project on Washington Street, the gas station. I sent a couple of emails and I haven't heard back. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just curious if there's a status update for the public. I walk by there every day with my dog here in Ward 1. That makes sense, but yeah, it's kind of an eyesore and a little bit of a hazard. So if the public could just get an update on that. And then the affordable housing unit obligation, it doesn't specify when we would be required to fulfill our obligation of those 100 additional new units. It says that the period is for 2025 to 2035. Would we just have to meet the requirement by the end of 2035? It's more of a, I know you can't answer questions here, but
I'll try to address it when
Might be
we're
a
done.
question for the attorney.
We're gonna wait till we're done with all. Okay?
that was my only question just regarding this.
Okay. Anyone else care to come forward?
Ashley Carrion, 1216 Birch Street. Marie, you had mentioned the public parking for the snow, and I was wondering if this senior center is considered town property where people can park, because there was like a post on Facebook and that parking lot wasn't included, so I was just curious because that's pretty local to us. at the end
If
of
it
town.
wasn't, I believe it should be, but you know, we could confirm that with the administrator perhaps.
Okay.
I know I'm not supposed to answer the question.
No, just because it wasn't in the post and then you
Yeah.
had brought it up, so it just kind of came to
Mhm.
my memory of, I thought it was, and
Yeah.
I just wasn't clear.
Because I think the other one that's not listed that should be is the one right next door here at the former Chase Bank would also be available because it is a town-owned lot.
Okay. And then my other question was about pickleball. I know we're having indoor pickleball, but then we have money to put in pickleball courts in Canal Side Park. And I was wondering if there's a construction schedule or a timeline that you could share with the town. Previous questions, was like a master plan and overall phases of like the park's redevelopment. So just a little bit more information on that, being that, we cut the trees down and there's no pickleball courts yet. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
It's not owned by the town anymore, the rec center. Oh, the seniors.
129 South Terrace. A few months ago, I started trying to gather some resources to fix the fireman's home steps. Right, so the gate's been locked for years now. It's pretty unsafe for the kids to cross the street from Janella to get over there to play. So there's some new programs coming in town. There's a soccer club that's starting. There's a youth girl lacrosse program. There's probably not enough fields already for the high school teams and the middle school teams and then youth. So what I did, that's what we're going to try to get help for. So what we need to do is fix the steps and fix some of the drainage and then cut down the reeds. So right now, I talked to the Board of Ed, I talked to the fireman's home, I have support from a bunch of people. And I'm really looking for, okay, I'll give you the cost, right? The cost, I got some quotes, I'm trying to get more, but right now it's like 60 grand to fix the steps. It's like 8 to fix the drainage and maybe another 1,000 or 2 to cut down the reeds, maybe 70 altogether. So what I need is some support from you guys. I just want to know, is there anything here that you guys could guide me on? Or I'll go to the rec department and maybe February 4th, I'm going to a meeting there. Any guidance from you guys as anybody? I know we fixed Pepe Field one time, right? And somebody had to run that project. So if there's any guidance that you guys could give me, that's a lot of money. Do I get grants? Does the town have money? How do I start?
What, Sai, when we're done with all the comments, I'm going to try to address all the questions been asked, including yours. Okay?
Oh, so I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to know how to start the process. I'm a coach in town for 17 years. I've been here 30 years. I have no vested interest in this other than seeing the kids have played in the fun. And I know it's a great field because I coach some of the kids, some of your guys' kids, right? And I coach some of the Board of Ed kids, you know, so how can I help to get funding? And I can run the project, I just need the money.
Yeah, I'll try to answer that when everybody's done. with the
Oh,
questions.
great. Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Well, when everybody's done, I'm not sure everybody's done. speaking.
Like if there's any other public comment.
Any other members of the public wish to come forward? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment. Liz, is there any emails or mails? Okay. Starting with the first question about Washington Street. I think we share your concern about that project. I know that our code official has reached out to a number of times. And I'm probably talking to school here. I think what Councilmember Witkowski said is similar. I've heard that the owner goes out of the country. They go as far as they can until he runs out of money. He comes back in the country and fixes it. I will reach out to him again tomorrow and see if he can't move that along because it's an eyesore. And I agree with you. It's taken far too long. It's not that big a project. It should take a year plus. Affordable housing, can you address that? I believe we do have 10 years.
Mayor, so basically, that is ostensibly your timeline, but then realistically, it really just depends on when developers are trying to come in and actually build something in town, which in Boonton is a reality. When you have municipalities that are kind of less desirable to build and more remote further out, sometimes you have this prospective need obligation, but it just basically goes unfulfilled indefinitely because nobody's actually trying to build out there. Here it was pretty critical. I think we and your planner kind of worked together to get the prospective need down by about 50 units from about 150 to about 99. And that'll make a difference here because developers really will be trying to build here. So the prospective need is just, while those are out there, it makes it a lot easier for a developer to skirt zoning and to get what it wants to build in the town built. But it's not, if nobody was trying to build here, that could just go unmet until the end of the period. But in Boonton, obviously, that'll be more unlikely because it's a desirable place to build.
Thank you. Regarding the snow parking, I personally do not know the answer of lots. My presumption was that all the municipal lots would be available. I will check with the administrator and make sure that we do a social media post to accurately identify those lots. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Regarding the pickleball, we do have plans to do a pickleball court down in, I guess it's Canalside Park. I believe the bulk of that is funded through grants. When we don't control the money, sometimes we're at the mercy of those that do control the money. There's a tendency that it takes longer than you would like. So I believe that it's scheduled to be done sometime next year. Perhaps our rec director could give guidance when the pickleball court is scheduled to be built. Okay.
We are granted the award, so it will happen.
Great, thank you. Did you have something you're?
We just approved that maybe last month or in November, the engineering drawings to start that project or the design of the pickle courts.
Okay. And the final question relates to the steps at the fireman's field. We're aware of that. I do appreciate you coming forward. We're entering the budget process. Councilmember Weissman is the chair of the Finance and Personnel Committee. Perhaps we can add that to the agenda. Department heads are asking for money. Relative to a grant, that may be difficult to get grant because generally the grants, I don't think are available for us to make improvements on somebody else's property. And being that we don't own the property, we could have some difficulty there. But I agree that we have limited recreational resources available. So certainly it has our attention to see what we can do to address this.
Mayor, can I add one thing though?
Sure.
It might be possible that the Fireman's Home as the entity might be able to apply for grants on their own, whether through the county or the state for recreational purposes. So that might be an avenue that you might want to, if you want to send me an email, I can see if I can do a little bit of research for you and I'll send you back an answer.
Yes.
Okay.
So they would, I think that that's all, kind of interest on it, for days on board of that. So I would think that.
I would call for a motion to adjourn.
Bukowski?
Second, Steve Anicea.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
That's gotta be a record.
Nope. Yep. Yeah, so now we had an actual 15-minute meeting.
But if you pay attention, a lot of shit happens.
Big game on it.
I mean, all the reports, people doing stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yes, Pam?
Which intersection?
Crosby Hops?
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I'm repping the police department today, but I will be